Hi, welcome everyone to a Redstone tutorial. Actually, this is the first in a series I decided to do because I was aware that some of my subscribers don't really play Minecraft, especially not enough to understand Redstone. So this is the first in a part of a series, and in today's episode, I'm going to be showing you all the tools of the trade, or at least most of them. Other ones I'm going to be displaying in their own separate video because they have their own separate uses, or very complicated uses, regardless. Here we go. So the first thing you need to understand is that there is 3 different types of tools. You got your inputs, your transitional items, and your outputs. This is the basic 3 components to every single redstone machine. So the first are the inputs. So you got yourself your redstone lamp, or your lever. Gosh, that's later in the video. Way farther later in the video. Redstone lamp can be flicked on and off to provide constant redstone or no redstone. The stone pressure plate activates when a mob or a player steps on it and emits a redstone signal. And the wooden pressure plates do the same thing as the stone pressure plate. They come in 6 variants equal to each of the 6 wood types. And in addition, they also activate when you place blocks on them. Or, I mean, when you place items on them. Up next is the redstone torch. It provides an instant 15 redstone signal. It transmits no matter what. It can't normally be turned off, but there are certain things you can do to turn it off, which we'll be going over later in this video. We got the buttons. The stone buttons, I believe, can activate for 0.8 seconds. And the wooden variants last for 1 second exactly, or 20 ticks. Next, you got the gold and iron pressure plates. The gold pressure plates, I believe, can withstand a lot less blocks. So, as you can see, the more you put on it, the greater the redstone output. I should have really put some redstone. Give me a second. So as you can see, when I step on it, since there's one entity here, it activates 1 redstone signal. If I put another, it will activate 2, but it will be picked up by myself. And if I just place multiple on there, you can see that the redstone output increases per item. Now the iron pressure plate, I believe, takes a lot more items. So if I place them all, you can see an entire stack of them only outputs 1 signal. And now we take a look at the redstone, now we take a look at the daylight sensor. Daylight sensor outputs a value equal to the time, and we can even invert it for nighttime. The redstone block does the same exact thing as the redstone torch. However, the redstone torch can be turned off, whereas the block of redstone can never be turned off. However, as opposed to the redstone torch, it can be moved around easily using pistons, which we'll be going over later. Here's our next one. It is called the observer. It will output a redstone signal every time it senses something change in front of it. So as you can see, when I break or place the block, it puts a signal. This can be used to place two of them next to each other, causing it to constantly update because the redstone signals update. Up next we have the trap chest. Trap chest provides power whenever it's open to the amount of players to a maximum of 15 who are accessing the inventory at the moment. So as you can see, since there's one player online right now, there can only be one at the moment. So it's best to use if you have a comparator. But as you can see back in that little corner, you can have the little redstone particle sensing that it is actually active. Last but not least, we have the tripwire. The tripwire activates when a player steps on the tripwire. The tripwire is comprised of two hooks, as well as any number of string to connect the two hooks together. The hooks are crafted, and the string drops from enemies, obviously spiders, and when you step on it, it will activate the redstone. Moving on, we have the redstone transitional objects. These are mostly just to transmit power from an input to an output. Here we have the redstone dust. Once you connect multiple redstone dusts, you can make a fully blown signal like that. And in addition, we have the redstone repeater. Now, if I connect this to this, you can notice that the brightness of this indicates how much power it has. It slowly diminishes. If I bring this further out, you can see that it does even more. The redstone repeater will strengthen that signal all the way back to 15. In addition, you can also increase the rate at which it takes to transmit that signal. So if I place this, you'll see it doesn't immediately go. It waits 4 ticks because I set it to a 4-tick signal. This one's a very complicated transitional item. It works similarly to a repeater. It doesn't strengthen it. It goes through it. However, it has two modes. It has a subtraction mode and an addition mode. Now, if I set it to this mode, it checks, is this stronger output than this? If this is stronger than this will not go through. However, if I set it to normal mode, or however, if if I change it up and put the strongest signal to the front, it will go ahead and transmit that signal through. If I put it into subtraction mode, you can see that it takes this 15 and subtracts 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9 from it, making it an 8 signal strength. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 6. I can't math. Sorry. Regardless, that's how it works. And here's some examples of how a redstone torch can be used as a transitional object. Now, if I go ahead and put this, you see how it can invert a signal. Since the redstone torch goes ahead and removes its power source if it's being powered itself, it can be used as a pretty useful inverter. It has a 1-tick delay as well. And this can be used to make vertical redstone, such as this. So that way, hang on. Yeah. So if you put the signal through here, you can turn off, or you could swap all of these out. And lastly, you just have the block, because if you didn't know, signal can travel through the block. Hang on. I think you need a redstone repeater for that. As you can see, the block does not impede it. However, if you place 2 blocks here, it's way too thick, and it will not allow it. Thick with 2 C's. Of course, we could just bypass that like that, but that's a more different thing. So last but not least, we have the outputs, the means to the end, or the end to the means. We have the redstone lamp if it is powered. For example, I placed a button on all of these objects, so that way I can show you exactly what it does. So the redstone lamp, when it is given power, it turns on. Because it's a button, it will turn itself back off. Next we have the dispenser. Now the dispenser works differently. Alright, so I just gave myself some more items, so that way I can show you the difference between the dispenser and the dropper. The dropper always drops an item no matter what it is. So, for example, it dropped that water bucket. However, the dispenser, and this is going to cause some real carnage, by the way, this dispenser decides to try to use whatever item it is first, other than a block, such as that. And it just got rid of the block. If it has the empty bucket, it can collect it again. Those are just a couple of examples. I'm going to be making my own video showing you all the uses of the dispenser. Up next we have the note block, Grande's favorite block. You can play it by left clicking on it. You can change the pitch, or you can right click it or give it an output and it'll play the sound as well. Up next we have the piston and the sticky piston. Now, hang on. I'll be playing the rest of this in creative mode. Now the differences between these are very slim, but they are also very useful. So the sticky piston, both of these blocks push blocks. The difference between the piston and the sticky piston is it brings the block back if it's a sticky piston. Now these are very selective items, so you won't be using these much in your builds. However, these just activate all of the door types when they are given an output. The difference between the iron door and the wooden door is that you can right click for those wooden doors, but you cannot do the same thing for an iron door. I think I forgot. Yes, I did. I forgot an item. The iron trapdoor is the same thing as the wooden trapdoors, except you also can't right click it. Like that. And of course we got the funnest object all in this, the TNT. Now, here's what the TNT does. It blows up stuff. So, I'm going to be having a little bit of fun here. When you just give it an output signal, it will ignite itself, causing an explosion that will destroy tiles and damage entities or players. And as you can tell, by the fact that I'm doing this, you can also chain TNT. So if a TNT explodes a regular TNT, another TNT, it will explode that TNT as well, making for a really fun explosion. I hope you learned a lot in this episode. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, and I will see you next time. Thank you.